Hello, my name is Maria Schmitz. Welcome today to the topic of coping strategies, how to deal with cognitive overload. Peter Drucker said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Winston Churchill, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Steve Jobs. The greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall. Nelson Mandela. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Franklin D. Roosevelt. When you're looking for a new job, one of the most important things to consider is whether or not the company has a good work-life balance. In other words, do people who work at the company have enough time and energy to do the things they love outside of work? Or do they spend all their time working and feeling stressed? A recent study by the University of East Anglia found that people who use positive coping strategies at work are more likely to be seen as employable than those who use negative coping strategies. Negative coping strategies include things like blaming others when something goes wrong, ignoring problems, and drinking alcohol. The researchers looked at data from over 2,000 employees in 6 different countries. They asked the employees questions about what kind of coping strategies they used at work, and then they asked their bosses how employable they thought the employees were. The researchers found that there was a strong link between the employees' coping strategies and their perceived employability. In other words, the employees who used positive coping strategies were seen as being more employable than those who used negative coping strategies. So why does this matter? Well, if you're using negative coping strategies at work, it could mean that you're less likely to get promoted, or even worse, that you could lose your job. On the other hand, if you're using positive coping strategies, it could mean that you're more likely to get promoted and that you'll have a better work-life balance. Work can be a source of stress for many people, we know, whether it's a heavy workload, tight deadlines, difficult colleagues, or long hours. There are plenty of things that can make you feel stressed at work. So what can you do about it? One of the most important things you can do is try to identify the cause of your stress and then see if there's anything you can do to change it. For example, if you're feeling stressed because of your workload, maybe you can speak to your manager and ask for help or suggest ways to make things easier. If you're finding it hard to cope with a particular task or project, it might help to break it down into smaller, more manageable parts. You could also try to change the way you think about it. Instead of seeing it as something negative, try to focus on the fact that it's an opportunity to learn something new or develop your skills. It's also important to take regular breaks during the working day, even if it's just for a few minutes. This can help you to relax and recharge your batteries so that you're more focused and productive when you get back to work. If possible, try to go outside and get some fresh air. Even a short walk can make a difference. It can also be helpful to talk to someone about how you're feeling. This could be a colleague, a friend or family member, or even a professional counselor. Sometimes just talking about what's going on can help you to see things from a different perspective and come up with new ideas for how to cope. Finally, make sure you look after yourself. One of the biggest rules. This means getting enough sleep, eating healthily, and making time for activities that you enjoy. It's easy to neglect these things when you're feeling stressed, but they're actually really important for your physical and mental well-being. If you have any other suggestions that have worked, feel free to write them in the comments.